Today's drive is in the Yorkshire Dales. Starting from Leyburn in Wensleydale. During the drive, I'll be photographing old stone bridges and other places of interest. This is the route starting from Leyburn. The first part of the drive will finish at Surrender Bridge. I'm now driving up the high street, heading towards the marketplace, where I'll park up and have a look around this beautiful little town. At the heart of Wensleydale lies the gateway town of Leyburn, a town for all seasons, with spectacular views of surrounding countryside, unusual shops and cafes, traditional pubs and a weekly market on Fridays. It's an ideal base for walking, sightseeing and any other activities of interest. This finger post here points to all the various places of interest. Not far from the town centre is the Wensleydale line. Swinging the camera around. This building is the local bus shelter. Bus terminus. Now looking at the upper part of the town hall, which was built in 1856. Moving round to have a look at this information board. Leyburn Shore. Shore is a limestone outcrop over Leyburn, in which you can enjoy panoramic views of Wensleydale and Penthill. Seating inside the bus shelter. I'm now crossing the road to the other side of the market square to have a look at the various shops along this side of the square. Very pretty hanging baskets. Selection of items in their hardware store. flags are flying, the Union Jack as well as the Yorkshire flag. Continuing with the walk down the side street, a lot of these businesses were closed during the COVID crisis, and now they're actually advertising the fact they are open. Lots of visitors stop off here in Leyburn. There you go, another happy chappy. This is where I'm going to leave Leyburn and continue with the drive in the Yorkshire Dales. I'm now heading for Grinton Moor, and then the first old stone bridge of the trip will be at the Vicarage Bridge in Grinton. The Yorkshire Dales photographing old stone bridges and other places of interest. Grinton Moor. This is Grinton Moor. On the right hand side is the Army training facilities. When you see a red flag, it means that activities are taking place. Better be careful, you might hear a big bang as you drive along. Grinton Moor was part of the 2014 Tour de France Stage 1 route from Harrogate to Leeds, and it passed through the village of Grinton. On the right is a red flag. As I mentioned before, it indicates that there is certain training activity taking place. The journey continues to the first photographic location of today. It's the Vicarage Bridge at Grinton. This is a fantastic day to be driving across the moors. Temperature outside is 21 degrees. No rain, just beautiful skies. I'm approaching Cogden South Bridge. The bridge connects Wensleydale and Swaledale. It was destroyed by flooding in 2019 and has since been rebuilt and reopened. The old stone bridge was a narrow packhorse bridge across the River Swale. It was widened in the 18th century. The river is reputedly the fastest flowing in England. The natives are out for a morning stroll. Just a short distance to the first stone bridge. This is the Vicarage Bridge at Grinton. It's called the Vicarage Bridge because it allows access to the vicarage across Grinton Gill. This is the first stone bridge today. Time to move on, driving down into the village of Grinton, where we'll take a look at St Andrew's Church, the Cathedral of the Dales. Grinton is a small village in civil parish in the Yorkshire Dales. Place of interest, St Andrew's Church, commonly referred to as the Cathedral of the Dales. St Andrew's Church has a blue-faced clock, following a decree by Henry VIII that, following God's command to Moses to make Aaron the priest garments of blue with gold bells, church clocks should be blue with signs upon them gilt. Stepping inside to have a look around, I'll just be videoing, no commentary. Swaledale sheep is the emblem of Swaledale. Leaving Grinton, the drive continues north to Reeth. Reeth enjoys a magnificent setting on a plateau above the River Swale, surrounded by a great panorama of hills and moors. Today it is the main settlement in Swaledale. The drive continues, heading north to the next point of interest, which is at Arkle Town. It's a beautiful day to be driving on the Yorkshire Dales. This is Arkle Town, a hamlet in Arkengarth Dale. These 1930s petrol pumps still survive in Arkle Town. They have been lovingly preserved by a private owner. They are some of the last survivors of the early days of British motoring. The first roadside pump in Britain was installed at a garage in Shrewsbury during World War I. 4 years later, there were 7,000. I'm crossing Langwaith Bridge, as featured in the TV series All Creatures Great and Small. The sign on the wall points the way to the Red Line. I'm now at Langwaith, and behind me is the very old stone bridge which allows access across this Arthur Beck. I'm standing outside the Red Lion Inn. The pub sits in a cluster of beautiful stone houses and is a simple one-room affair with a gas fire at one end and the bar at the other. It seems that mainly walkers and cyclists know or find the Red Lion. Despite being tucked away, film crews have also discovered the pub. It's featured in the opening titles of All Creatures Great and Small and has played host to several other Yorkshire productions. Time to move on. The next destination is Scar House Bridge. I'm driving north on the B6270. This is the Yorkshire Dales. This is another very old stone bridge. It's called Scar House Bridge. Just going to take a stroll across it. This is Arthur Beck. Not a lot of water in the beck today. In fact, there's not been a lot of rain in this area for quite a few weeks. Looking downstream, continuing with the walk across Scar House Bridge. Beautiful gardens. Scar House is a shooting lodge and was built in 1845 on the site of a Norman manor under Langwaith Scar in Auchengarth Dale. The area surrounding the manor, when built, was a royal hunting forest. Since the mid-19th century, the owner of Scar House has used it annually for grouse shooting. Scar House, an imposing residence which now belongs to the Duke of Norfolk. Scar House. Time to leave the Scar House Bridge. The drive continues. The next destination is going to be the CBN. I'm now back on the main road and driving north towards the CBN. I'm now standing outside the CBN. CBN stands for Charles Bathurst. Situated amongst the picturesque scenery of the Yorkshire Dales National Park, the Charles Bathurst Inn is an 18th century pub. Charles Bathurst was a lead master, lead mining being the mainstay of the economy of the Dales in the 19th century. Charles Bathurst, Lord of the Manor, opened out many new lead mines, and his initials were stamped on the pigs of lead. The drive continues to the northernmost location on this drive, and it's the hamlet of Wall in Arkindale Garth. Yorkshire Dales photographic trip continues. War is an hamlet in Arkindale Dale in North Yorkshire, and it is one of the smallest. Over the very old stone bridge at Wall. This is a very old stone bridge at the hamlet of Wall. It's a three-arched bridge. The bridge spans Arkle Beck. Just looking upstream, you can see how little water there is in the stream. Swinging the camera around, these are the number of houses which is in this very small hamlet. We're in the Yorkshire Dales, Arkindale Dale. This is as far north as this drive is going to take me today. I'm going to turn around and head back south, heading towards the Surrender Bridge. I'm now back on the main road, which is the B6270, heading towards the Surrender Bridge on Reeth Eye Moor. Turning right here on the Surrender Road, which goes over Reeth Eye Moor, we'll be passing the water splash onto the Old Gang lead smelting mills, and then finally the Surrender Bridge. This area that I'm driving along is called Surrender Moss, and perhaps it's something to do with the name of the bridge and the road. The next point of interest is going to be the water splash. This is the beautiful landscape of the Yorkshire Dales. Due to the lack of rain, there's no splash here today. Before crossing the Surrender Bridge, I'll be parking here and then taking a walk up the track to view the Old Gang lead smelting mills and what's remaining of it. This is a view of the mining complex. it must have been an absolutely amazing place during its heyday. This old packhorse bridge spans Old Gang Back. The Old Gang lead smelting mill is one of the best preserved lead mining complexes in the Pennines. Constructed in the 1840s, it replaced the earlier mill on the site after 1885 production declined dramatically. Buildings on the site that has a roof on it. At the moment it's going under some form of renovation. Let's take a look around inside. One final look at this ancient and crumbling monument. Now making my way back to Surrender Bridge, where I'll take some photographs. Surrender Bridge is instantly recognisable as the bridge in the opening scenes of the James Herriot's 1980s TV series All Creatures Great and Small. The bridge spans the Old Gang Back near the Surrender Smelting Mill at the foot of Novel House Hill on Reeth High Moor, and in doing so crosses the route of the Coast to Coast path. Why is it called Surrender Bridge? A couple of theories. One is that there was once a surrender mine here, and the other is that mine workers carrying wares had to surrender a toll before crossing. Either of these sounds plausible. I'm driving across the Surrender Bridge. The drive in the Yorkshire Dales started in Leyburn through to Grinton. The old Vicarage Bridge was the first bridge to be photographed, then on to that magnificent old church, St Andrew's. Drove up the Dales to Reeth. From there, the next point of interest was the old petrol pumps at Alcaltown. From there, I crossed the bridge which is featured in the TV series All Creatures Great and Small at Langford. The drive continued north to one of the Dales' smallest hamlet at War. Returning south, I drove over Reeth I Moor to the old gang lead smelting mill, ancient and crumbling. The final old stone bridge and place of interest to be photographed is Surrender Bridge, ending part one of this Yorkshire Dales drive.